Prosecution has to argue why Leticia Stauch shouldn't get bond and why this case she had the right to be here in the courtroom, but she appeared on video from the jail instead to say 6 witnesses. The hearing started with pictures of the suitcase where police say Gannon's body was found by Ucker.
It's the extended Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress, where the more you buy, the more you save. Take $100 off every $1,000 you spend. Save up to $200 on our Doctor's Choice lineup, plus 7 years no interest and free shipping. But hurry, the extended Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
Florida, under a bridge. Gannon's body found wrapped in shark print boys bedding in the suitcase. They say he had a gunshot wound to his jaw, a number of stab wounds, and wounds showing that he tried to fight back. Now, we also saw pictures Leticia took on her phone from the last day Gannon was alive, January 27th. That morning, he appeared the same. The PS her travel.
All right, guys, sorry about that. What in the heck is going on with that? But anyway, I'm going to basically go over placed in that preliminary hearing yesterday. All right, so Gramsy life. She made me laugh. Gemini, what's up? Ivan the Great. Valerie Gore. Cup Tea. Amethyst. Cherry K. Hey. Sassy Ely Chow. Katie 2. Ellie Brabs. Caleb, my man. Panda Field, Vlogs from Abby, Fantastical, Main Squeeze, Amy Jade, Mrs. R&B. Right. Okay, so yeah, I got a little bit of sun today. And I got, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I feel like my lighting was a bit too much because it was. Crime Story, welcome. Yeah, so yeah, I got a little bit of sun today, so but I get sun a lot actually because I walk these dogs a lot, and I like it. But as far as this case goes, those of you who've been following my channel for a long time know that about this case a lot when it was first happening. It was, and when I was pretty convinced that she was guilty. I figured that law enforcement had enough. I had faith that law enforcement had enough evidence to. So, because enough to think that they could convict her, absolutely. So, and as you guys know, this really got under my skin. The case really hit home with me for a long time. Now, I knew this was going to trial. I'm not happy about the fact that it's going to trial. I think Landon and Al have earned the right to move on, to say the least. So I find it really disturbing that she has the audacity to think that she can convince people that she didn't do this, considering the evidence that she has against her. And I was right. There's a lot of evidence against her. And we actually read the first arrest affidavit here. But the thing about that is, it was not the official affidavit that they had to add on to it. So it was almost like a first draft kind of thing. And so the judge just allowed that to be public. And I went over a lot with this case. I went over that interview where she had her back turned a few times. So you're gonna have to get caught up on the but that stuff is still up, but you got to go way back. I have been waiting for this a long time, because we're finally going to see justice for Gannon, and I am absolutely totally Leticia Stauch. Yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, I realize my head is really choppy, guys. Give me a second. This is the best that I can get it. Hopefully it improves. I hope it does. I'm sorry that it's choppy. There's just not a whole lot that I can really do about it. Let me try one more thing. Okay, so I am plugged directly into the router. That's the best I can do. So I'm sorry that the internet's choppy. I in the house using it, and so I'm going to do the best I can here, and I apologize for the choppy internet. All right, so Leticia Stauch she's accused of murdering her stepson Gannon in January of 2020. For a preliminary hearing, Gannon went missing from his house in El Paso County, and he was 11 years old, and he was reported as a runaway when it happened. On January 27th, 2020, the El Paso home near and never returned. Now, in February of 2020, Leticia received a lot of criticism online. You're welcome. With many accusing her of being involved in Gannon's disappearance. Now, what's funny is when this was going on, that was still going, hey man, we don't know what actually happened. Like, just because she's an a-hole doesn't mean she's a murderer, you know? So I was one of the only people doing it. I was real loud too. But I wasn't defending her. I was just saying, that's a crazy thing to accuse somebody of when we don't really know what happened. And I got into it with a lot of people over that. But I still stand by that. You know, if you don't have information, then you can't jump to these crazy conclusions. Now, she was arrested on March 2nd in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And they found Gannon's body in Pace, Florida on March 18th. Since March of 2020, she's been held in Nassau County Jail. And in September 2020, the state psychiatrist told the court that Stauch is competent enough to stand trial, but her attorney's and on January 27th, 2021, Stauch was found competent to stand trial. So she tried to pull the whole you know, I'm crazy. She tried to plead the not guilty by reason of insanity, but now, I mean, that's out the window. See, and I find that interesting because I wonder if the jury gets to know that. I wonder if the jury, that's just basically an admission of guilt. Less. I mean, if you, I mean, think about it. If you're saying, well, I'm not guilty because I'm crazy, that implies that you actually did it. And then once, I mean, that's a gamble, right? Because once you get evaluated and then they're like, nah, you're good. Well, then it's just like, okay, well, now what? I've already pretty much admitted that I did this, but I did it because I was crazy. But now that they're saying I'm not crazy, well, I'm screwed. It's pretty much what went on. It's been a whole circus. She has been doing nothing, playing games with the court this entire time. And it's really, really irritating. That's another reason why I'm so glad that this is happening now, finally. Like I said, I prefer that she would just plead guilty and stop putting the family through this. But the fact is, you know, now we're gonna. She's and what bothers me about this trial, I mean, I like that we finally get to know exactly what happened, what evidence law enforcement has, and what the prosecution has. I'm you know, I'm happy that I finally get that kind of closure. But the thing is Gannon's family had all of this. They're probably been brought up to date on everything as they were pretty much once they had arrested. So I find it interesting that sorry, my computer got unplugged. Hold on one second. Okay. So, I mean, any chance? I mean, I don't see what she plans. And she decided she wanted. At one point, she decided she wanted to represent herself, and then she fired her court attorney, and then said she wanted to represent herself, but then playing all these she couldn't get to the library, blah blah blah. She lost her privileges to the library, intention. And this is a person who is supposedly has a PhD in education. So somebody who has a PhD in education, why wouldn't they take full advantage of that law library and educate yourself as quickly as possible? Because if anybody is qualified to do that, that I would think is going to be able to do that. And sorry, I just saw Cummy the Clown in the chat. That's it's an inside joke. me and my Discord, which I'll let you guys in on later. But so interesting thing is hold on, Caleb's saying something here. What's Caleb saying? It takes very little to be deemed sane by the court. Defendant just needs to know the process of what's happening in the courtroom and know right and wrong. Right. She does. I mean, yeah, just real bizarre behavior coming from her. Now, prior to her going through these shenanigans, when she was being transported back to Colorado from Myrtle Beach, she attacked a deputy and hospitalized him after slipping out of her cuffs and trying to escape. So that's pretty wild, man. They're expect a Lifetime movie coming. Just expect it happening. It's going to happen. This woman is insane, but not in the kind of insane way that she was hoping to convince the court. She's insane in the kind of way that she is very, very thinking that she is above the law. And then she also was caught trying to plot something in jail as far as an escape goes. She's just been doing everything to make herself look guilty leading up to this trial. And it's very, very interesting. Now, so eventually she finally breaks down and asks the judge to give her another attorney. Judge is nice enough to do this, but it's going to be interesting because from what it seems, and we're going to go over this stuff, from what it seems, there's plenty of evidence against her. And I see her having about as good of a chance in this trial of getting away with this and getting acquitted as what's his face? The dude in Tennessee that boiled his mom's head and kept something like that. I can't remember. And I covered the case. I can't even remember the guy's name. I'm glad I don't remember his name. Joel Guy Jr., I believe his name was. Just hit me there. Yeah, exactly, Caleb. Exactly. And Caleb's been around since I started talking about this case. But like Caleb back when I was talking about this case. But I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to find the humor in this as much as I can. Even I'm angry at the fact that she is putting Landon and Al through unnecessary torture. Because with all the evidence that she has against her, there's no way that she really believes that she's going to get away with this. I think her pleading not guilty and going to trial is just a stall tactic of her part. Everything that she's been doing leading up to this has been a stall tactic. So she's just stalling and she's just trying to buy time. She actually ends up having to go to prison. So these are updates from a Nicole Fierro. And she is a Channel 2 reporter in El Paso County, or for Fox 31. I guess that's a Colorado station. Yeah, so so she updates at 3:49 p.m. yesterday. That the judge said that he will share his ruling on September 23rd at 9 a.m. Hold on, let me start from the bottom because these are all okay. Hold on. These are all, yeah, these are backwards. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Okay, so Gannon's biological family was there 8:45 a.m. and Leticia appears at 8:50 a.m. via WebEx in her cell. And 8:55 a.m. I have confidence in my defense. Leticia Stauch said, as she acknowledges that she's waiving the right to be there in person. Judge is explaining that he will be reviewing the evidence in the case, and it could have an impact on whether or not she will be granted bond. At 9 a.m., Leticia Stauch says that she understands and does not want to be here in person. Judge says he's going to make her appear on WebEx again tomorrow to tell him if she changes her mind and wants to come. She immediately left the room after telling the judge that she understands. The district attorney, fourth judicial DA, said that not showing up simply because she doesn't want to be here makes it harder for witnesses to point to her and say she did it. He's asking that we just set a trial date because of this and waive this hearing. And at 9:07, the judge both sides on this. He says he thinks Leticia Stauch waived her presence at the proceedings, but she has clearly said she does not want to waive the proceedings themselves. Judge wants to move on with the presenting of the evidence. Now, what I'm seeing here is interesting because what I'm seeing is we've seen how she behaves, guys. We've seen how Leticia Stauch behaves. We know what her antics are. Who the hell? What? Okay. Well, thanks, T Love. So anyway, what's interesting is I imagine her behavior. She's insisting, because I guarantee you that her attorneys, given the evidence that's against her, her attorneys most likely advise her to take a plea deal of some kind, some way or another, to somehow take some sort of plea deal and plead guilty. I doubt that her public defenders wanted her to go to trial, and she insisted on it. So I'm wondering if they've come up with some sort of defense here, which we're going to get into that too, what their defense is going to be, more or less. And what's interesting here, we're going to get into that. And I'm of the opinion, okay? I am personally of the opinion that her lawyers probably told her to not show up to court for this, because they're afraid of her putting her foot in her mouth. They're afraid of her speaking up. They're afraid of her acting out and making things worse for her, for herself. So I'm wondering if that's the case. That's just my imagination going. Just given her personality, given her past behavior, I'm wondering if her attorneys were just like, dude, you know what? Better if you just hang back and just video chat when you understand your rights, and let them know that you understand your rights, and that is it. And then we'll do all the talking. So that's what I think. That's just personally my opinion. 10 a.m. prosecution calling up first Mason Yoder. They're going to be showing a lot of pictures for evidence, they said. And 9:12 a.m. Yoder is a sergeant with the Santa Rosa got call and responded to the discovery of the body under the Highway 90 bridge on March 17th. At 9:14 a.m. Yoder said a highway inspector found the suitcase while inspecting the Escambia River and found a body wrapped in what appeared to be a small child. 9:18 a.m. Yoder said clothes on the body led them to identify as a male. They guessed it was someone 9 to 14 years old. Said there was an imprint in ground consistent with a suitcase off of the bridge by an emergency pull-off area. Jesus. At 9:20 a.m., Yoder said that they went on the missing persons database and saw pictures of Gannon, noticed similar dental height and weight features. Just thank God they found his body. Like, I mean, it's almost like she went to all these lengths, right? She went to all these lengths to get rid of. She drives all the way from Colorado to Florida, right? She literally drives all the way across the country to get rid of. Like, this is her in her mind being thorough, right? But what she does when she gets to Florida, she sees a bridge and she goes, that looks good from there. And she throws the suitcase with Gannon's body over this thing for anybody to find. She didn't go through any efforts of destroying the body or in nature. She just threw it off a bridge like nobody was ever going to find it. And that's her level of crazy, which is really, really interesting to me. Yeah, I always wondered that, Caleb. I've always wondered that. How does she without being noticed, even though she was under a microscope? But we're actually going to get into all that. I think that there's answers to that here. So, all right. So at 9:25 a.m. Okay, this is a big trigger warning, guys. So this is about to get pretty gruesome. So for those of you with delicate sensibilities, please bear with me or not. If you have delicate sensibilities when it comes to these kind of details, I don't suggest you listen. But I'm going to go over these things. So the trigger warning is there. Yoder tells the court that he observed injuries to the body, fractured skull, gunshot wound in the lower left jaw, with wounds to left chest, right back, cuts on hands and arms consistent with defense wounds. Autopsy report says 18 sharp force. So she stabbed him 18 times. She stabbed this little boy, 11 years old, 18 times, and he fought back. So she beat him, she stabbed him, and she shot him. And we kind of got this idea when we saw the charges for her when her first release. So we kind of assumed that all of these things took place. But I was hoping that there was some sort of weird explanation for that. So, okay. Yeah. So yeah, the fact that there's evidence that he most likely fought back. 7 a.m. Hearing this, I can only imagine. And 9:28 a.m. The first exhibit brought up on the screen is the missing flyer for Gannon Stauch. Loved ones are wiping tears from their eyes right now, hearing what this witness saw and seeing his picture. 9:28 racing one another and bowing their heads to avoid looking at the screen right now. As court views pictures of the suitcase body was found in under the Florida bridge. 9:35 a.m. we are seeing a picture of a pillow and the body. There are little blue sharks on them. At 9:41, Yoder said the doctor conducting the autopsy found the gunshot wound itself fatal, not determine if the gunshot and blunt force trauma was before or after the death. At 9:43 a.m., the autopsy says cause of death was gunshot wound and blunt trauma to the head. So stabbing isn't even what killed him. What killed him was being hit over the head and shot. Disgusting. And we saw pictures. We saw the pictures. Not very good ones, thank goodness. But we saw the pictures of the crime when that first affidavit was released. Based on your would guess the body may have been in suitcase over a month before found. Jesus. At 9:46 a.m., witness 2 Kevin Clark, who's employed with the 4th Judicial DA at time of Gannon's disappearance, worked for CSPD. And 9:48, Clark has experience in investigating cell phone information and GPS trackers. He was granted to go work with Sheriff's Office and the FBI in February 2020 to support the case. 9:50, pulling up a number of exhibits showing maps tracking locations of a VW Tiguan on January 28th, 2020. Registered vehicles, Leticia Stauch registered vehicle locations. Hearing we will see a hotel. She's hearing that they'll see a hotel receipt too. So yeah, she just left a paper trail. She just, I mean, like, there's already so much evidence against her. So 9:5, Clark talks about on January 28th, a neighbor's surveillance shows the Volkswagen Tiguan leaving the home. This was the footage I exclusively shared with you first back in 2020. We all saw that. A car tracker also shows the car heading to the airport after leaving the home at 8:13 a.m. We did not know that part. At 9:57 a.m., Clark says surveillance video shows Leticia going to the car rental kiosk at the airport that morning at 8:41 a.m. The internet search 17 look for cheap rental cars in Colorado Springs. She picks up a white Kia, which we knew about. Clark says she picks up Al, a rental car, and heads back to their home. At 10 a.m., Clark says the same day at 7 p.m., defendant returns rental car to airport and gets her VW. The cell phone data shows that she put her phone into airplane mode at 7:26 p.m. At 4 a.m., the location data shows, sorry, that's just the update, time of the update of the hearing. So the location data shows there was 30-minute pause in training in the Falcon area while the phone went into airplane mode. Crews kept searching there and didn't find anything of evidentiary value. CPS location shows her driving patterns after she left the airport at 7 p.m. She put her phone on airplane mode. She was in the Falcon area at 7:30. After 9 p.m. shows her in Douglas County, phone still in airplane mode. There's just an entire map against her. So the records from so for 55 minutes after connecting to Wi-Fi, she connects with her daughter Harley. The records from Harley's phone show that she was not at Massage Envy when Leticia's car parked around midnight. Harley's picks up Leticia in her car. Leticia's car is left in the parking lot overnight as they go home. The next day, Wednesday, Sheriff's Office takes Leticia's phone and car. They also take Harley's car. Leticia's aunt flew to town Thursday and rented a car. Leticia had access to the car. Teams were watching Leticia's movements. Okay, now we're getting somewhere here. The court took first break of the day, and Michael Allen will do an interview after the judge has made the ruling of these proceedings, not before that. We're about to resume, and I will continue to live tweet. Okay, so these are all just a bunch of tweets updating everything. Okay, so now, excuse me, Friday, January 31st, the GPS tracker shows Leticia in the rental car. Then she does a news interview. That news interview. Leticia Stauch had family fly into town. Her mother, stepbrother, and stepsister came, as well as her aunt, who let her use her rental cars while the search sees Leticia's car and phone. Saturday, Leticia rents a van from a location by Garden of the Gods early morning. Early afternoon, defendant purchases a Verizon cell phone at Walmart. The map shows defendant traveling from Colorado Springs to Florida to South Carolina. Okay, so there was nobody actually following her, but they were tracking her. So that's probably why of the body. I mean, because saying a trip of over 1,000 miles. I mean, and they're not actually watching her; they're just tracking her within those 1,000 miles. I mean, she put the body anywhere, and she had him in a suitcase. So at this point, they're just kind of watching her. To be in a suitcase. So if she's traveling, then she would have a suitcase. So they probably just didn't have enough probable cause to stop her, and that'd be a hell of a gamble. So Harley accompanied her in the van. Surveillance video along the route shows both Leticia and her daughter on that trip. Credit card data, new phone, and toll road data shows them on the trip as well. Does anybody think that Harley knew what Leticia? She's on the witness list. I'm wondering if anybody wonders if anybody believes that Harley somehow knew that Leticia had killed Gannon and that they were going to dispose of the body while they were on this trip. Yeah, that's what I think too, D. Homies. I think that, I mean, there had to be a smell. Well, she's probably advised not to say anything, T-Love. But it makes sense to me. I mean, she was even in the interview, in the television interview, you could hear her talking off camera to Harley, and she was very intimidating. She was very, and telling her to lie, basically, to say whatever she was telling her to say. So, hey, Julie Witcherman, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you? I believe, yes. I believe that Harley knew something, but I feel like she was intimidated by her mom. I mean, if she's capable of doing this, and I can only imagine the kind of manipulation that she subjected her daughter to. And I also wonder if that's the case. I wonder if they offered Harley some sort of basically an immunity in order to testify against her mom. Because, like I said, she's a witness list. Yeah, I think she was scared of her mom. That's what I think. Let's keep going. So just after midnight on February 4th, 2020, they arrive in Pensacola, Florida. The night before, a reservation was made for the hotel. February 4th, 2020, map focuses on GPS and phone activity in Pensacola. Map shows car at Candlewood Suites where defendant rented room at 4:15 a.m. Now, the van is tracked less than 2 miles from the bridge where the body is found. Hotel is approximately 3.3 miles from where the body was found. Clark says that only 2 people involved in this investigation are Leticia and her daughter Harley Hunt. The receipt from the stay at the Candlewood Suite on February 4th has Leticia's name on it, shows her rewards program. She was a platinum member, shows departure data was February 4th, 2020, only staying a few hours before South Carolina. Wow. So the third witness is called up at 11:05 a.m. He is Sergeant Patrick Yonkin with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. He was on duty and responded to a call for a runaway juvenile, January 27, 2020. Runaways are given a non-urgent priority. They are busy. Sergeant Yonkin got consent and searched the home of the reported runaway. Searched the closets attached to the garage and storage room, made contact with Leticia on 2 occasions during the search. First in an attached garage and second lower level of residence. And he had a body cam. So and then at 11:09 they're showing the body cam footage and they're showing Leticia during the search. You can hear her consenting to the search. In 11:12, body worn camera, you hear her saying Gannon said he was going to his friend's house to play video games. She says something about cleaning a mess he made on the carpet downstairs. Remember that? Sergeant Yunkin starts going through a car in the garage. Leticia comes back in there and says that he's never hidden the car before. We see what looks like a car captured on body worn camera. Whoa. Okay, so right there we're having a Chris Watts moment, right? But the thing is he didn't open the suitcase. You know what I mean? Like he searched the house, but there's no reason at this point. You got to understand, because I'm sure a lot of us right now are thinking, why didn't he open the suitcase? If he's searching, why didn't he open the suitcase? Well, he doesn't know he's searching for a body yet. He's not even there, not even close to that yet. Where he's at is he's looking for a kid who might be hiding. You know, he's not looking for a dead body. He's not suspecting this woman is a murderer. She called 911 and reported him missing. She's the stepmom. He's not jumping to that conclusion right off the bat. And she's consenting to a search. So this guy probably has not had any radars, go off in his mind here. Oh, and he said he never even noticed the suitcase. Okay, interesting. I haven't gotten there yet. But here she is though, and you could see, like, I'm picturing this in my mind, and what she's doing is she's like, he's going to the car to look in the car, and then she's kind of trying to stop him and going, oh, he's never hidden the car, trying to kind of sway his attention away from there, but the suitcase is in there, sounds like. So in Gannon's bedroom, Leticia talks about how he is very fashion. She talks about how he has tons of clothes. She says she's not the person that talks to Gannon's friends and parents. She says Al, Gannon's father, is the one that says yes and no to play dates. So the sergeant's now answering questions about the search. Nothing indicated to him at the time that something violent would have occurred. He was searching for a boy. Right. Basically everything I just said. And Leticia Stauch's attorney is now asking the sergeant questions. He asked if he saw a suitcase in the car. The sergeant said he doesn't know if there was a suitcase in there. Specifically, he didn't look in the suitcase. Sergeant went back on January 29th to execute a search warrant, found a dry red liquid substance on one of the stairs leading to the garage and on the garage floor. Interesting. And then the fourth witness is Deputy John Sarkisian with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. He was asked to run command for the search efforts for Gannon. Sarkisian, I don't know how to say his name. Sarkisian said, I'm just going to say Sarkisian, said used all of the search tools that they had, from sonar to horses and prodding poles. Some days they had hundreds of searches. So it was pretty thick at the time. On Perry Park Road, there is an S-curve in the road, and crews focused the search there. At 11:54 a.m., they're showing pictures from... Hold on here. Showing pictures from that S-curve. K9 alerted to this area. Sarkisian checked barbed wire and noticed a flat plywood board that had snow on top. He moved. He said that the board appeared to have blood on it. Looks like it in the evidence picture that they're showing. The tests confirmed that it was Gannon's blood. So, I mean, even back then, like, they knew. It was a rumor. We just didn't know that for a fact, but that was a rumor that there was Gannon's blood on the on that board. So at this point, they're looking for a dead body. They're watching Leticia real close. So the state calls a fifth witness, Sergeant Rosario Hubble, with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Pictures from Leticia's phone show Gannon in his bed on January 27th at 8 a.m. Hubble said he believes Gannon is alive in the pictures. Okay, so that answers that question, because we remember there was the big debate back then of whether or not Gannon was alive or deceased in those photographs. And I'm relieved I was not looking at pictures of Gannon's deceased body. I'm relieved to know that. I'm relieved to know that this officer at least believes that he was alive at the time. And it would make sense considering how brutally he was murdered. So there probably would have been a big mess, and there probably would have been he probably would not have looked peacefully sleeping in the pictures. So at 1:36 p.m., the investigators compared the pictures of Gannon in his bed to the evidence in the suitcase in Florida. Hubble said that the bedding matches and appears to be that the body was found wrapped in. So right there, what that tells me, guys, does anybody know what I'm thinking right now? So she takes these pictures while he's alive and he's asleep in the bed, right? So she takes these pictures. She wants pictures of Gannon in his bed asleep. And it's the same bedding that they find him in the suitcase in, right? So this tells me that it's premeditated. She planned on doing this. This is the same person that, and I think I talked about this before, but it was all theory because we didn't actually know what happened. We didn't know what evidence they actually had. So yeah, Amethyst, I believe it was premeditated because if you remember, also took that she also took a recording going on of a conversation with Gannon where she's basically intimidating him. She's basically like berating him about a burn on the carpet or a stain on the carpet or whatever, or the couch, something to do with the couch and what's going to happen, and he's going to be in trouble, and he's crying. He's miserable. He's crying and he's terrified in the recording. And she posts this recording on social media for God knows what reason. Because in her mind, I believe that in her mind, she was just trying to prove something. And she was just going about it in a crazy, wild way. And I've seen this behavior before. Just not from somebody that's actually killed someone, but I've seen this kind of behavior come from somebody before. They just convince themselves that this is the way to go. That's going to somehow convince people that they're not a total shitbag. But yeah, that tells me that this was the same mindset that she had when she posted that video, as taking pictures of Gannon in his bed. And I believe she had every intention after those pictures were taken. And I'm guessing in her mind, she was trying to say something to the effect of, well, look, the last time I saw Gannon, I mean, he was sleeping in his bed. He was fine, you know? And even somehow in some weird, sick way, try to come off like she cares about him so much that she was trying to take pictures of bed, sleeping peacefully, and that she, you know, but yeah, we don't see anything in her behavior that indicates somebody who would do this. So, yeah, let the blunt agree with you. So I'm, yeah, I think it's a crazy thing in her mind where she was trying to cover up what she did. But I believe I believe that her mind was made that she was about to tell him where he slept right there. And she attacked him while he was asleep after taking those photographs, probably immediately after taking those photographs with her phone. And she decided to she attacked him. And probably just, oh God, I can only imagine. But he fought back. So whatever she did first, whatever form of took first, was not fatal yet, and Gannon put a fight. So on February 3rd, 2020, the detectives went back to search the home again. They had reason to believe that there was foul play, and their mission was to look for blood evidence. And now this is a month later. Actually, this isn't even a month. We're talking January 27th, just a few days. This is just a few days. And they already believe. So again, this is right here is an example, guys. This is an example of why we need with law enforcement to do their jobs. Okay? Because if they're investigating a murder, first of all, they don't want to blast that all over the media. They don't want to get everybody they don't want to spook Leticia to take off, right? So, but they're definitely looking for, they believe that there's foul play. They believe that something happened to Gannon, and they believe that it was Leticia Stauch who at least had something to do with it. So they're looking for blood evidence, and they and so so the investigator said that they pulled out the carpet because there was a stain that soaked through down to the concrete. Okay, you've got a bed, you've got a mattress, you've got sheets, you've got a mattress, you've got a box spring, and you've got a frame, and then usually something right underneath the carpet, and then the concrete underneath the carpet. Underneath the between the carpet and the concrete. So you got this you've got so much blood that it soaked all three things and stained the concrete in the floor. Hubble said a sample of the stain was identified as Gannon's blood. Hubble said that it was apparent the carpet had been padding underneath the carpet and concrete were... God, what an idiot. You got to understand, folks, this is why they don't make these arrests right away. They collect evidence. And the reason why that is exactly for what we're reading right now, which is a trial, to be able to convict her beyond a reasonable doubt, have so much evidence that there's no way she's getting out of it. And so that, and these things take time. So when you're sitting there going, why isn't she in jail yet? What's going on? Oh, it's because they're building a case against her to make sure that once they do arrest her, getting out. That's the purpose here. Due process. So another picture shows the corner of the mattress in Gannon's room. The stain on the mattress tested positive for blood. Blood found in an outlet next to Gannon's bed matched Gannon's DNA. Hubble said blue star blood testing showed a trail from Gannon's room to the garage, goes through storage room and stairs along the way. It's even got evidence of her dragging his body to the garage in order to get rid of it. So at 2:10 p.m., the investigators showed found in the master bedroom. Hubble found the gun on top of the dresser. The 9mm handgun had Leticia's DNA on it, and the DNA of the trigger belonged to Leticia. So they have they have, and they have her DNA all over the gun, all over the murder weapon. So it's 2:10 p.m. in the first preliminary hearing, and it's pretty safe that they have enough, and there's no way she's getting away with this. There's no way that you're going to convince me that she's not guilty of this. Like, you're never going to get one juror to doubt that this happened. I just don't see it happening. Hubble said that Florida sent back 3 projectiles, bullets, one from the body's head, 2 from the pillow. And the examiner said that they were consistent with the bullets that would come from the handgun found in the Stauch house master bedroom. So she didn't even try to clean this thing. She didn't. I mean, how do you not get rid of it? She would have had a better time convincing and then saying, you know what, like, somebody broke into the house. They must have stolen the gun. I mean, it's a gun. It's a 9mm. It's worth value. So she had a better chance trying to say that. But she didn't even try to hide the gun. She didn't even try to get rid of the gun. She didn't try to clean the gun good enough. This is just as bad of a case as Joel Guy Jr. Like, that dude left a journal. I mean, it's unbelievable. So the defense asks Hubble questions. He confirmed there was 3 DNA profiles found on swabs of the gun, 2 male and female. The defense brings up Hubble's concern that he contaminated the room when he touched the carpet with ungloved. He noticed it was crunchy and had them pull it up. He wanted to set an example for his team and own up to the mistake. So an FBI special agent, Andrew Cohen, takes a stand, and he's the lead case agent. Cohen said he found no evidence that pointed to Al Stauch being involved in the Gannon Stauch disappearance. Al is Gannon's dad. He was in Oklahoma for training. Cohen found no evidence that pointed to Gannon's biological mother, Landon Hyatt. I'm not sure how to being involved in his disappearance or murder. Cohen said pictures of Gannon in his bed were taken when only Gannon and Leticia were in the home. Cohen reviews neighbor surveillance footage of Leticia and Gannon going into the red pickup truck. Cohen said Gannon does not appear to be injured. Cohen said Gannon was most likely killed in his bedroom based on all the blood evidence. Cohen and Leticia Stauch appeared to be lying to authorities during the investigation. He said that Stauch has a history of fabricating things in her past. Prosecution rests and defense doesn't have evidence. Big shocker there. So at 3:49 p.m., the judge said ruling on September 23rd at 9 a.m. Judge took pages of notes. The law requires he make certain findings before making a decision, and this is a serious case with serious bond status for Leticia will not change, at least now, according to the judge. All right. Let me see something. Yeah, so that's it. That brings us up to speed as to where we're on this case, guys. And I mean, considering the evidence that they're already showing that they have against her, I mean, I just don't see, I don't see her getting out of this, man. I mean, her best bet was convincing people that she was crazy, but she's not. You know, at least not the kind of crazy that gets you off of it from having to face a trial. So, I mean, yeah. And then you think of all the different stories that she tells in questioning, right? She comes up with a different story every time. Can you imagine the frustration of law enforcement of having to deal with this woman? Can you imagine that? Because let's not forget, according to her, Eduardo broke into the house and assaulted her and assaulted Gannon and took Gannon, right? Eduardo. The dude doesn't exist. Dude doesn't exist. But the more different stories she tells, the more she shows that she's a liar, which makes her more and more in the hot seat. Yeah. And, you know, guys, let's try to keep, you know, I mean, the thing is I'm not going to talk trash about Al. I'm not going to trash talk anybody. This is nobody's fault but Leticia's. Leticia's the murderer here. She's the one on trial. Al and Landon, no matter what your opinions are of them personally, they lost an 11-year-old boy who was a very, very special kid. And that's all I'm concerned with right now. And so I you know, the one person that was making a circus out of this is no longer even on YouTube. And I'm happy about that because I feel that I can show now I have an opportunity to untaintedly, if that's a word, it's a word because I said it and you knew what I meant. So now it's a word. Anyway, untaintedly empathize with this family. I don't have to worry about some other crazy YouTuber who is known for bashing victims and their families. I don't have to worry about that person going up here and trashing this family. So all of you in my chat who have your personal opinions, please keep them to yourself as far as their relationship goes, because it's irrelevant to this case. It's absolutely irrelevant. And I don't care what you say. You don't get to sit here and imply that if he had done this, then this wouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. Leticia killed Gannon. Plain and simple, period. We've all been guilty of having poor judgment of people. Sometimes that poor judgment happens, and these people are close to our children. You know, it happens. And I think this dude was just trying to make a living, and I think that he put his trust in the wrong person. Someone who is clearly a manipulative person, and she's clearly exhausting, and he probably just saw that as just a harmless, exhausting person that, okay, just whatever. I'm going to work, lady, shut up. You know, that's it, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. His judgment and taste in women is not on trial here. Leticia Stauch is on trial because she brutally murdered her 11-year-old stepson. And that is it. Plain and simple. Nobody else is responsible. Yeah, I am merely going to just try to show nothing but empathy for this family, because I can't imagine what it would be like to lose your 11-year-old son like that. And here's the thing. And for those of you who want to bash Al for having bad taste in women or having poor judgment, you guys don't think that he's beating himself up enough as it is? You think that he's not going through his own personal hell? What good does it do for you to add on to that? Just a thought, you know? And on top of this, you've got this idiot, this first-class blue ribbon asshole, murdering piece of shit, and she has all of the evidence in the world against her, and she still has the audacity to try to deny it and drag this family through the pain of a trial and have to listen to details of their child and how he died and how he was murdered, how he was beaten, how he was stabbed and shot in the face. 11-year-old boy. Favorite thing in the world was Sonic the Hedgehog. And we want to focus on criticizing the family that's going through this. Yeah, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that. Yeah, it's not our place to do that. It's just not our place to do that. Yeah, we're gonna yeah, guys, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this because I mean I just can't wait. I can't wait until that guilty verdict comes through. I can't wait until that guilty verdict comes through. I can't wait till that sentencing comes through. Because this judge, I mean, think of all the crap this judge has been putting up with this entire time. She's been doing nothing but blaming the rest of the world for everything that's going on with the court. Cindy Bobbitt, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I'm wondering if her I think personally, I think it was that she just did not want, I think that she resented Gannon. I think that she felt that since Al would leave Gannon with her, and Gannon had, some special needs. If you recall, Gannon was not supposed to live. He wasn't supposed to survive his first few days of even being born. And they call him their miracle, so Al and Landon see Gannon as their miracle. And Leticia seemed to have these delusions of grandeur where she felt unappreciated, and she felt that she should be getting more respect than Landon does. But I mean, it's his mother. Al's always going to show respect to a certain degree to Gannon's mother over her, regardless of how much she helps. That's what you do. When you take on the role of a step parent, then what you do as a step parent is you just feel gratitude for the fact that you are trusted to help with this person's life. But your place in that. You know that this child already has a mother. You know that this child already has a father. You just get to be part of it. You get to be part of this special this kid's life. And that's how you earn that kid's respect, by just showing gratitude. And she was jealous of Gannon. I agree. I think so too, Abigail H. I think she murdered Gannon to hurt Al and to hurt Landon. That makes it that much more disgusting. I think that's why she did it. I think she resented Gannon, and she took out all of her frustrations that she had on Al and Landon out on Gannon. And I think that her murdering him and all, I mean, from whatever took place behind those closed doors to his murder to now, is all her making life as difficult for Landon and Al as she possibly can. That's the only logical explanation that I can come to as to why she's not pleading guilty and not taking any accountability for this and playing stall games with the court. Yeah, I mean, I had the outside lights. I had the outside lights of my job blue for months and months and months and months. Now I don't work there anymore. But and Landon's a real sweetheart too, because I took a picture of it once and I sent it to her, and she was really, really nice. She responded back and she said how nice it was. Yeah, right. Kayla's making a good point here too, because when you look at all of the stuff that she did, like all the stuff that she said, and everything's about her. Like, if you could tell Gannon something right now, what would it be? This is while he's supposedly missing. If you could tell Gannon one thing right now, what would it be? And then she said something to the effect of, I just want you to come here, and so everybody will stop trash talking me, and you know, and it was all about her. She showed no interest in Gannon or his safety. I don't think anybody can ever, you know, I don't think anybody can ever anticipate that much evil. You know, I mean, if you watch ID channel, you know what I mean? Like, you see this all the time, right? You see this all the time. Like, somebody turns out to just be unspeakably evil, and there's just no way you're ever going to see that coming, because most people are good people who don't want to think the worst of others. They want to think the best. They want to be optimistic. Yeah, I mean, that happens in a trial. This is exactly what I was pissed off about. This happens in a trial. This is why I've been saying this is ever since I knew she was pleading not guilty and she was going to represent herself. She's making a farce, deliberately making a farce of the process of getting Gannon justice and getting Gannon's family justice for his murder. So she's just creating an entire farce of the process. And what that does is it puts the family through punishment. And obviously them having to see pictures of their 11-year-old son's decomposed body brutalized, having to see that image, having to have that image in their mind in order to, because what are they going to do? Not see justice served? They're not going to be there for their son in spirit to get him justice. They're not going to go to court. Of course, any parent would. Most parents. But that comes with it, is them having to see and having this image in their mind of their child in this state. And it's disgusting. Yeah, my TV just stays on ID channel lately. Like if I'm watching regular TV, like I always go to Netflix or Amazon Prime or HBO Max. But yeah, when it's just regular TV, I don't watch TV shows, man. Like I don't do that. Except I just leave it on ID channel because it's always some murder case. Now, I will say this, just to close out, if you go back and watch, Alex Erickson has been covering this, and she's in contact with Landon, and apparently Landon is having some troubles because she's missing work because she has to be at the courthouse. So she does have a PayPal. You guys know me. I'm weird about sharing stuff like that on this channel, but if you want to head over, if you want to help Landon out, then you can get that PayPal information from Alex Erickson's channel, because she's just doing really, really nice things. Alex is great. So yeah, I would head over to her channel if you guys want to show Landon some support monetarily. It is murder TV, dude. It is. I got the Scott Peterson thing. There's a Scott Peterson thing that was on at 9 tonight, man. I got the DVR going on that. I'm gonna dive deep into that. Maybe not tonight, but I'm gonna dive deep into that, dude. Thank you for sharing Alex's link in the chat there, Cherry. And make sure to subscribe to her too, man. She's great. She really is. She's a real sweetheart. She's had some real interesting interviews on her channel, not including mine. Mine's not that interesting. But she had me on her channel and had an interview of me, which was nice of her to do. But she's had a lot of great people on her channel. So, but guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I love you guys very much. Thanks for joining me tonight. As this case goes on, I'm going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep going over all the hearings. Okay, guys? Because like I said, I've been waiting for this. I love you, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.